How's it going, you guys? So I've had a change of heart about the dunks, and no, Nike didn't hit me up and be like, "What's up, Ben? You can get free dunks if you say you like them." No, nothing like that happened, but I just eventually got used to these after filming the video, started to really like them, and then realized that I was wrong about the dunks. So I think the reason that I didn't like them so much is because I went from a super worn out GT Blazer into a brand new out of the box pair of dunks. So it just messed everything up. And the thing I learned about dunks is that they need to be broken in. And because these were brand new, basically I had to do all the painful breaking in while I was skating them, which just kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth about them overall. I couldn't forget that really unpleasant 2 weeks of feeling like I was skateboarding in cardboard boxes that led me to call them the most overhyped, mediocre skate shoe of all time. But again, after skating these for a bit, I do think they have some merits. So what happened was I started to go through a personal shoe crisis where I've been having a really hard time finding a nice shoe. It's the winter, and I was planning on skating these GT Blazers, but these are a summer shoe, you know? They're really light, there's no padding, they're not warm. So I decided to just start skating these again for lack of a better option. And lo and behold, I was right around the corner from them breaking in. And at a surprisingly long time, it was like 6 weeks old, 6 weeks of skating in these before I really started to feel comfortable in them. And I've never had a shoe like that. I talk to a lot of people and they all say the same thing. Dunks are the weirdest shoe in that they actually progressively get better the older they get. And I'm used to a shoe that, starts to feel kind of crappier after about the 4 week mark and they don't skate very well anymore. And dunks were like the total opposite in that department. It was really weird. So one of the reasons I had such a hard time in these is that the flick doesn't get good until the toe softens up, which takes a long time. So what I did with these dunks, I got the Why So Sad ones, and what I did with these ones is I actually wore them around for 2 weeks before even skating them. I didn't even try to skate them until I could feel that they had actually softened up a bit. So that being said, I do find that there's not actually any Goldilocks zone for me for kickflips in these shoes. I find when they're too new, I kind of get rocket flips all the time, and I also don't have a very precise kickflip. And then when they get old, I can't get a really popped kickflip, but I get a really precise, consistent, accurate kickflip, if that makes any sense to you guys. I also complained about the heel flips in these shoes, being that they were too padded on the sides. However, once I got used to doing heel flips in these, I absolutely loved them, and I honestly kind of prefer them to a vulcanized shoe for heel flips now. Another thing that's really worth mentioning that I wasn't able to appreciate until they were broken in is that they're actually kind of the perfect amount of bulkiness. So let's take ES for example. We got the Excel OGs, which are like the most ridiculously bulky shoe, and then we've got the Excel Slims, which are so thin they look like they would hurt my feet brand new. These ones are kind of like the perfect medium of bulkiness in between, and I wish skate shoe companies would take notice of that there's like a Goldilocks zone for bulkiness of a shoe where you have enough padding to make your foot feel really safe, but not so much that they look stupid and make it so you can't feel your board at all. These ones, in my opinion, once broken in, to be a broken record, do get so good. And I definitely felt like there was a lot more tricks I could try without worrying about landing primo, without worrying about my board hitting me so hard in the ankle, versus a GT Blazer, which every primo is a nightmare, and every time that board comes close to my ankle, I wince. These ones, on the other hand, there's just that little bit of padding that again makes you feel more secure while wearing them. Another thing worth mentioning again, and it was probably the only good thing I said about these shoes, is that they are incredibly durable. I actually don't remember the last time I had a shoe last me this long. The downside, of course, is that I didn't find them very skatable for me in the first 2 weeks. Even these ones, even though I broke them in and they're more comfortable, I don't feel like I can actually skate to my full ability in them yet. However, even at an exorbitant full retail price, because of how long these last, I know I'm actually getting my money's worth out of them. So all of this is to say that I no longer think dunks are the most mediocre skate shoe ever. I now think that they are actually a pretty darn good shoe. I can see why people exclusively skate dunks. There's so many other good shoes out there. I don't think I could be that guy. However, I would skate them again if I could get them. Anyways, that's been a lot of talking. Why don't we get to a quick session I had in these the other day. I went to that big, beautiful ledge again and filmed some tricks so you can see if these shoes are working for me or not. We're halfway there.
Yeah! Twice I've done that. Oh, again. Oh, dude. I was not trying to balance that 5-0. No, wrong side.
Yeah.
That was by accident.
Bounce.
No, got it.
Woo!
I don't even know why I'm trying. This is the hardest trick to make look even halfway good. We could do better. We could clean that up. I like this setup. Little board. Venture low gang.
So that was an adequate session in a pretty fresh pair of dunks. So just to compare and contrast, I decided that I would try the GT Blazers again. So I did just that. I filmed another session in the GT Blazers. And without further ado, why don't we just get right to that one, and then I'll tell you what it was like to skate these after being used to dunks, because it's the opposite experience of what I had.
heel on the coping. Venture lows in an 8-inch board ain't gonna stop you from riding transition. Only you can stop you. And a really bad fall. On that note, I'm done skating transition. January in Canada. I'm out of my igloo and in a t-shirt. Definitely do better than that. That's delightfully slick. Never predict that ledge. It's like you try to assume it's sticky and you slip out, and you try to assume it's slick and you stick. That was almost like the Neymar roll. A little toe drag, but hey. Oh, that ledge is so tall. Oh, he did it, he did it.
Oh, so close.
So I actually had a good session in these shoes. At the beginning of the session though, I didn't think I was gonna stick with these shoes. Every time I've tried to skate them after being used to the dunks, one of the main things I feel is that my foot is not protected enough. I feel like it grabs too much and it's all rubber when I do my flicks, both on kick flips and heel flips. I feel like there's no protection at all. Again, I dread every single primo. And the other thing I noticed, this is a really weird one that I'm finally starting to put my finger on, and that is that the firmer the sole, the easier it feels to pop my board. So basically, when I have a nice firm sole on a shoe, like the Adidas Superstars, those were really firm, or on the Dunks, it makes my boards feel lighter, which makes it easier for me to skate a heavy truck. And what I experienced yesterday in my session in these shoes is that going from the Dunks to these shoes made my board feel really heavy at first. So here's my theory on this, you guys. When you have a firm sole, you are not losing energy in the sole flexing when you kick down. So to put it a little simpler, I think that a firm sole might actually help you get a little bit more pop. Yeah, you don't feel the board as good, but again, you're not losing all that energy you're putting into it in your shoe flexing around the nose or tail of your board. So that's my theory on a firm sole. As for how my flicks and heel flips felt by the end of the session, really good. I actually started to feel like I was able to lift them up more, not from my popping foot, but from my flicking foot because of the extra grip of the vulcanized shoe. I'm gonna stick with these ones for a while now. I felt better in transition because I could really feel my board. Ledges felt pretty good too. Overall, yeah, I felt really connected to it compared to the more aloof feeling of a bulky cup sole. Anyways, that's about it, you guys. There's no need to go on any more about it. I can get used to either shoe. It's just unpleasant in the first day or two when I switch. And I'm about to go somewhere a little bit warmer, so I'm probably gonna wear this shoe while I'm there. And if you guys wanna see what's happening somewhere warmer, I am back on Instagram, I sheepishly admit. So I did make that video a while back about quitting Instagram, and I still have a lot of the same feelings about all of it, but I realized I was also giving up a really valuable communication tool because that is where everybody's at these days. So in order to not, lose too much of myself in that app, I'm just basically trying not to post very often. I'm trying not to get lost in the feed, not scrolling. So that's been helping a lot. Yeah, I just wanted to let those of you that know and that are still watching at this point in the video that I am back on Instagram. I'm not even going to tell you what it's called. You'll find it. It's, not too different than the channel name. Anyways, I'm done talking. You're probably done listening. I hope you want to go skate now. And if you are physically able to do so, get out there and do it. Have fun. And yeah, I'm going to say the line again. May your next session be your best session yet, you guys. I honestly hope that, and I hope mine is too. Thanks for watching. Till the next one.